gonna move right along and talk about T.I. and Tiny, because we need to have an honest conversation about consent. I keep throwing my damn notes down here. I need my damn cards back. Now, as you guys know, there have been several allegations of sexual assault and abuse brought against this couple, and a lot of them came through Sabrina Peterson, who on IG, she's under the Glam University. She talked about her own story when allegedly T.I. held a gun to her head, but then it was kind of funny because then at one point he was around her kids, but they used to be friends. The story got really confusing. But anyway, Sabrina posted a bunch of IG messages of women saying, you know, they did this to me, they did that to me. Every story had a common theme, right? I went to the house, I took a pill, I was told it was ecstasy. I woke up the next day, I don't know what happened. I went to the house, I was going in and out of consciousness. I thought I was just sleeping with T.I., but he gave me to his friend. I went to the house, Tiny peer pressured me into taking a pill, called me a little pretentious bitch. I took it because I didn't want to be a little pretentious bitch. Woke up, draws at my ankles. It was all very Bill Cosby or R. Kelly-ish. It just was, right? And so now out in New York, T.A. Blackburn Law allegedly has more than 30 women that have contacted them with claims of forced drugging, kidnapping, the R word, as well as intimidation, right? Now, these allegations have taken place over the last 15 years. So there's victims allegedly going back all the way to 2006. And the locations include T.I. and Tiny's home, various hotels around the country, the tour bus, and pretty much all of them are saying that they were forced or coerced into taking drugs. And so I wanted us to come and have a little wee conversation here about consent, right? Because a lot of people don't understand what consent is. And so I just thought I was going to look up some statutes, right? Because I'm like, we need to freaking know. So here we go. Defining consent in Georgia. This was last updated March of 2020. Okay. How is consent defined? There is a lack of consent if a person engages in a sexual act with another person by forcible compulsion, or with a person who is incapable of consent because he or she is physically helpless. You mean like those women that passed out? Mentally defective, slow, Shikana. Mentally incapacitated, or because of a victim's age. Now, all right, mentally defective is like a mental disease. We already know that. But then mentally incapacitated means that a person is temporarily incapable of appreciating or controlling the person's conduct as a result of the influence of a controlled or intoxicating substance. Ooh, you mean like alcohol or ecstasy? Ooh. Administered to the person without the person's consent, or that renders the person unaware a sexual act is occurring. Here's the thing. If you offer somebody some and you say this is ecstasy, but it's really a Mickey, I wasn't expecting to take no Mickey or roofie. I thought I was taking ecstasy. Ecstasy don't make you black out and you don't remember what happened the next day. That ain't how that works. I don't know what this shit, I don't know what it's actually called. I grew up with people saying look out for Mickeys and roofies and shit like that. You know, look out for the cocaine. Anyway, I say all that to say, look. Physically helpless means the person is unconscious, like them girls that passed out. Physically unable to communicate a lack of consent, like once you get so drunk and you don't want your boy to do, you thought you was just doing T.I. and Tiny. Now you gonna pass him off to your boy, because that's what they do in this industry. They all like sleeping with the same girls. It's how best can I explain it? Think of the industry, a bunch of hyper masculine men that enjoy running trains. That's your rap industry right there. Embrace Pangea is a black-owned health and wellness brand that has solidified themselves as being able to take care of your yoni. But guess what? They do more than just service your yoni. Yes, as a matter of fact, Embrace Pangea has products to cover you from head to toe, inside and out. And in particular, let me tell you about a couple products that I personally use. Number one is the herbal tooth powder that is better than any toothpaste that you will get over the counter. It will get your teeth clean and help your teeth to maintain a natural white shade. And in addition addition to that, the advanced botanical mouthwash is something that we all should have in our medicine cabinet. Now, when you look at a bottle like this with 25 potent herbs like echinacea, golden cell, don't laugh at me if I mispronounced that, you know what I meant. We need these natural ingredients in our mouth rinses so that we can fight tooth decay, gingivitis, all of that plaque, halitosis, and overall poor oral hygiene, okay? So if you want to get a good clearance when you go to the dentist, get you some Embrace Pangea, and in addition to that, make sure you use my code STORM to get 10% off your order at checkout today. It's like a group thing. It's a bunch of group sex. It's and I don't understand, why does it always have to be together? Why does it always have to be so extreme? Why? Because it's about domination and control. Why? Because 80% of the industry is bisexual. Anyway, so you want to see your homeboy get down, because more than likely your homeboy get down anyway. The Boondocks already told you what it was. Hell, they do shit for these record deals. Okay, I'm saying too much. All right. Rendered under where the sexual act is occurring. Okay, nursing home page. Okay, so that's going into nothing else. So do you see the consent and how there is a lot of gray area with that? So basically, if you with a girl and you get her so drunk that she can't remember what happened, she technically could not give you consent, because consent is just not the start. Consent is through the whole act all the way to completion. Because in the middle, the girl can say no, and you need to get off of it, because no means no. Okay, let's look up some more statute, because I'm going to the statute. This is what the attorney's doing. Shit. Forget all this. People on the internet want to speculate. People want to play attorney, play a doctor. No. What does the law say? So we go, how is consent defined? Lack of consent, forcible compulsion, being incapable of consent. Means use of forcible compulsion means use or threatened use, whether expressed or implied, of physical force, violence, confinement, restraint, physical injury, or death to a threatened person or to another person. Which means if you say, if you don't take this pill, we ain't letting you go home. If you don't have sex with my boy, you can't have your phone back. That's forcible compulsion, coercion. You have the R word and you have that gray area coercion. I went to school with a girl. Well, once she used to give BJs for tattoos, but that's nonetheless. But she went on a date with a boy. It was out late at night. Got her out pretty much like where she couldn't catch no bus or nothing like that. And said, you gonna give me a BJ or I'm kicking you out my car right now and I ain't taking you home. You figure out how to get home. Now, this was before Uber. This was before all of that. I mean, we cell phones, of course, but wasn't no Uber, nothing like that. So what the hell was she gonna do? She gave him the BJ. He bought her a Subway sandwich and he took her home. But it's just the point of that wasn't the R word, but that was coercion all day long, which falls up under that. He didn't physically make her do it, but who trying to get kicked out and be on the side of the road with nowhere to go? Think, people. Gotta put your thinking caps on. Okay, let's move on to without consent. Means that a person, with or without resisting, they don't have to resist, is coerced by the use of force against a person or property, or by the express or implied threat of death, physical injury, or kidnapping, right? Or is incapacitated as a result of the act of the defendant. I gave you a pill, you're incapacitated. You don't even know what happened. Your ass went unconscious. I had my way with you. He had his way with you. I don't do that shit. He had his way with you. You had no way of consenting. You got his ass. Let's see. Consent is defined to mean positive cooperation in act or attitude pursuant to the exercise of free will. The person must act freely and voluntarily and have knowledge of the nature of the act or transaction involved. If I come and think I'm having sex with you, I take something thinking it's this, I'm out and I have sex with somebody else, you took away consent. Y'all can say what you want to say. T.I. and Tiny, they're done. They're done. They're done. And they may beat it, but they gonna shell out some money. His image is forever tarnished. Tiny gonna do anything he say. Ain't gonna take charges for him. They're done. Don't you remember when they got arrested a while back, had all them pills in the car? Huh? All them ecstasy pills? And she took the charge to that. Don't y'all remember when she parked her car in Atlanta with jury out in the open and her doors unlocked and then filed that insurance claim? My My car got stolen. My jewelry got stolen. Really? You left it right out in Atlanta. Hell, you go to some parts of downtown Atlanta, you barely want to bring out your damn iPhone without somebody asking shit. Anyway, I say all that to say, when you see these celebrities and they get all these R-word cases on them, it's not about the physical act. It's about everything you do that takes away consent from that person or said persons. Now, some people going to say this is the industry setting him up. Maybe T.I. was due for a sacrifice. Maybe. One, it can exist with the other. But what I'm also telling you is that there is a deep underground like sex cult in Atlanta, right? And a lot of your celebs that have been on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta are involved in it. And a lot of your R&B celebrities that are friends and they all hang out were a part of that underground era. And it went from the 80s to the 90s. And then they became famous and it continued on and it got worse as they got more and more money. You can guess who I'm speaking of. They're friends. They hang out all the time. They have businesses around Atlanta. You see them on television. I ain't saying no words. I'm just telling you to put two and two together. It's a whole bunch of shit that goes down here. And what happens is when you get to a certain level and you piss the right or wrong person off, all of that dirt comes back up. In this industry, the only way you stay out of dirt is that you're constantly putting dirt on other people's name. And so the name of the game is to constantly hang around each other, constantly throw these parties. I don't know why grown people need a bunch of damn parties, but you know why, on certain days at certain times. The whole purpose of it is so you guys are constantly getting dirt on one another to keep one another down. You're feeding the beast, you're feeding the tabloids, and you're all kind of, you're like you're burning the candle at both ends. I can't really say it all, but I hope you can read between the lines. These two right here, well, really, he gonna take most of the charges. These two right here, they're done. They're done. Anyway, with that being said...